Public service announcement. We know what you did.
Yep, we know what you did and how bad you did it. But before we tell on you, I want to get to my brothers on the panel. People, it's the ATL Sports Endgame. Glad y'all are back with us. To my left, you guys right. It's Jaime. Jaime, how many eyes have you plucked out today?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I haven't plucked any eyes out. I guess everybody's been on their best behavior.
And down below, we have the senator, aka Mad Mike Luciano. Mad Mike, did you have your cheese and crackers today?
Actually, I did. Look, I'm gonna have my cheese and cracker. That's I can't. I'm on a little special kind of fast, if you will, and I'm yeah, cracker, cheese, and crackers is what I'm eating right now.
Yeah, I got to get prepared for the that thing on Tuesday. So I've been eating vegetables and drinking water. It's been fun. I might try some grass. Never know.
Mm.
But let's get to the chat because I got some public service announcements that need to be said. In pole position, we have Cartier Walker. Cartier, I love it. I love the fact that you love your team, but Shiloh's not gonna save y'all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Woo!
He's good, but he ain't gonna save y'all this year. Maybe next year. You got Deshaun Caswell, what's going on? You got Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, what's up, man? You got Blake the Snake, what's good? Georgia Texas boy, what's going on? My man Dre Murphy. We got Miss Sonia Howell in the house, and we got Southside. Hey man, make sure you guys come in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to all of the channels up here. Look, man, hey, I'm getting close to 200, so I would greatly appreciate y'all helping me do that. I'm at 188 right now. Hey, take a look at the shorts. Comment down below. Let me know what you like. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have some more topics coming up, next week. But I want to get into the news right now because we've been seeing a lot of stuff going on in the rookies mini camp, and bro, it's scary good, scary good. I'm gonna let Podmate start off, man. What have you been seeing from the rookie mini camp?
Well, as far as the minicamp aspect of it, um, the rookies have been excited to finally get in camp to start working. Um, that's always definitely a good thing. And pretty much, you just got a bunch of dogs that just was just ready to get to work right away. Trying to set the tone for each other for the 2025 season. So I loved it.
What you got, Mike? What have you seen? Because I know you put out a couple videos and everything today, and I know it's one video in particular that we've all been talking about. So yeah, go ahead and get your thoughts on that.
I put out so many damn videos. Which one?
Well, look, I'll start it off, man. If you haven't seen and been living under a rock, when I tell you Jalen Walker, that young man is
Uh,
disrespectful, and he gonna take that number 11 to a whole nother level. This man literally assaulted the training dummy and then scared Jeff Ulbrich. Bruh, you can't make this up. Mike, what are your thoughts on that? Because that right there, I've been watching that video all day long.
So, as they say, back in the day, if you were incredibly cocky, that would be very that's very telling, and a lot of people would like to um, get their hands on it, so to speak. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about Jalen Walker. That dude is cocky. He's very extremely cocky, and yeah, that's what I got out of watching Jalen Walker. That dude is cocky.
Mm. Right. Let me tell y'all something for those that are defensive fans. Jeff Obrecht gonna have that linebacker room looking immaculate. Mr. Chiclet, you had a press conference today, sir, and you were telling them that you were endorsing Orbit's gum. You better have that front line, and that DB room better be right, because Jeff out there training them boys like bulls. Like he gonna have them ready to run up in the stands and slap your mama while she watching the game. I'm telling you, this and NFC South teams. I'm listen. I know y'all don't believe that rookies are really gonna be all that this year. All I'm gonna say is this, especially to them Panthers that been running off the mouth. You better look. Y'all better have your insurance policy ready for Bryce. You better have your insurance policy. Cause the way Jalen Walker hit that dummy, I don't see too many quarterbacks getting up easily from that. He damn near flipped the thing over backwards and then chased down Jeff Obrecht. Y'all need to go look at the video. Y'all got Shiloh. Yeah, we didn't see Shador. That's disrespectful. He gonna get felonies on the field because of that. I seen some of the other guys doing a route running. Listen, this team gonna be a monster if Raheem don't fuck it up. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Kev, Mike, have y'all seen anything else in the news? Falcon related that we need to discuss, because I know some of the interviews and everything. Did you guys see the interview with Mike Penix when he was taking Mike around? They went to like Waffle House and then he called Matt Ryan on the phone. What were your thoughts about that? Because it was pretty cool.
I did. I thought it was damn cool, to be honest. Oh, my bad. I thought it was damn cool because you don't get that often, especially here in Atlanta. When you had the last few years or so, just haven't had a lot of success with the quarterback position, and then you got the best quarterback in this franchise history, sitting back and watching and helping and tutoring this Michael Penix. I love it, to be honest. I don't know about K Styles over
there. Oh man, you know what? And I like this comment. Southside said, "Nah, these Commander fans been running their damn mouth like they actually run shot in the NFC South." I'm gonna tell you like this: the next time we play Washington, if we start knocking Jaden Daniels around again, I don't see getting up off his neck is not gonna be an option. Because now we got linebackers that can cover. All that dinking and dunking they did to try to come back in the game. No, we ain't got that problem. We gonna have felons in the middle of the field. Listen to what I say closely. These rookies are felons. They're practicing felons. Jeff Ulbrich got these guys out here waiting to hurt somebody. That's what they not understanding. He gonna do all that glitz and glamour and running back and forth. Okay, we got film. I'm just saying, don't get mad, Washington. Mm-mm. Oh no, we're not talking about that. We are not. Nope. Look, let me tell y'all something. For all y'all out there that want to put ketchup on grits and all that, y'all, you're sick. You need help. All right, you need help. We calling the white jackets if we catch you eating ketchup on
Who
collard
the
greens.
hell put ketchup on grits?
Man, listen. Mm-mm. Straight white jackets. Man, ain't doing no talking. Tell your family bye-bye. Nope. They some crazy stuff they did on TikTok. I've seen that crap. Y'all better stay off TikTok. When you walk around here with your brain the size of a walnut, leave it alone. It's not good for you. But I want to get to the main topic, and this actually can spawn different topics because a lot of people are not paying attention to what the Falcons got on offense, and I call it Enter the Great Wall of Atlanta. Now, we all know, we all seen the draft, and we got some great pieces, but what sparked my interest were the undrafted free agents. The undrafted free agents are the ones I've been looking at because, and I know OG Sam talked about it earlier, and I know Mike has been mentioning about it, but we got we got a wide receiver and a tight end in this class right here. Oh, good gosh. The tight end is a human freight train.
Well,
And we're talking about Joshua Simon. And then we got the wide receiver, Nick Nash, and oh man. Hmm. Y'all see the
hey
picture.
man.
I'm gonna let K Styles because y'all not paying attention to the weaponry we got. We got you hyped up on defense. Y'all need to pay attention to who's going to be on offense.
Man, just solely just based off of it, like the theme of this draft class is about leadership, playmaking ability, and the ability to be an impact player. And that's going through not only just the draft, but the other drafted free agencies as well. Um, but like you said, this is just their opportunity to retool a team in which you have quite a few players that's potentially about to be gone out of here anyway because they're possibly on their last year deals.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the best way that you want to see your team do it is you want to do it within the draft and you want to be able to get those impact style players in the draft.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
That's how championship teams are built. Championship teams win the draft. Pretenders win free agency. We'll say that again. Championship teams win with draft picks. Pretenders win with free agency.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what and like you said, and that's what you see with these rookies coming in right now. You got a lot of, like I said, once again, you got a lot of leadership. You got a lot of guys that are used to making plays. And essentially what you got is some dogs.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended, but you got guys that want. You got guys that were those leaders on their team.
Right. And you know something, K Styles? I'm gonna take people back. to kind of tie this into what you were saying. I want y'all to pay attention to something. The reason why I put this title up here is because a pattern has just come full circle. Right before Quinn Torres decided he was out, that season we got Kyle Pitts. The world held their breath because we had another great wall of Atlanta. We had some of the biggest receivers in the NFC South concurrently on one team. And everybody was like, man, can you imagine with Pitts and Julio can do this, that, and the other? They were thinking about that. And I mentioned to Mike and I mentioned to K-Styles this morning. I said, I got to talk about this because if it plays out the way it possibly could, because these rookies are good. They're not no slouches. I'm lining everybody up and I'm like, if you got all these big bodies, which a lot of, we don't know who's going to be on the team long term. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it potential wise. But if you look at it, they are already a problem as it is. What safety or what corner is going to be able to deal with all these big bodies? You know what I'm saying? You really got to look at it because you got Simon, who got what they call soft hands. He got great hands. He can catch. And once he catches it, run after the catch is disrespectful because he treating you like a semi on a freight train track. He plowing through you and is he taking it to the house? You already got to deal with an angry Drake London once he get going. And then you got a Kyle Pitts, which the whole daggone league don't want to get started. You got Nick Nash where I'm going back to what I used to say. It's a pick your poison situation. And Zach Robinson. And then you got Michael Penix, who don't care who he throw it to. This is what I'm talking about. You got guys that got potential that if they get their opportunity, it's probably no looking back. But one of the guys out of this Great Wall of China lineup, as I like to say, Great Wall of Atlanta, Mike had something he wanted to talk about concerning Kyle Pitts. And I'm gonna let him get started. But I'm gonna hurt a lot of y'all feelings when it comes to Kyle Pitts because it's something that right now is so blatant, and y'all have been ignoring it all last season. So Mike, yeah. Go ahead and hit him over the head with what you were talking about earlier.
Kev, do you have that poll?
Damn it, I'm on my damn phone. I can't really bring it up.
Right.
But
Hold on.
I think you may have it. But pretty much what the poll that is on the channel, last that I checked, it was like 112 votes.
Mm-hmm.
And the question was Falcon fans, what would you rather see in 2025?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather see Drake London with 1,400 yards or Kyle Pitts with 1,400 yards? People in the chat, people that's watching right now, choose your destiny. What would you rather see?
Look, it's so many people full of shit. All right, I'm just like y'all so full of shit. Everybody who answered responded on Kevin post is fucking full of shit. I love y'all to death, but y'all full of shit. In a perfect world, I just want the Falcons to be successful. Stop with all that political ass bullshit. Step on a damn limb and make a fucking choice. We gave you a damn question, and nobody got the balls or the guts to sit up here and respond. Y'all say, look, let me read this. I'm not gonna say who it is, but y'all know who y'all are. In a perfect world, I would love to see these stats from both young men. All right, and then another one. above anything, I would love to see a division championship playoff. Blah blah blah. All right, didn't answer the question. Just decided to want to answer that. But then you got another one. Um, you see, I want to see both, and then my number one receiver should have the most receiving. Keyshawn Vlad is the only one that was man enough to speak on it, adult enough, or bold enough to even speak on it. And then I asked another question on my channel where it said, in order for Kyle Pitts to not be considered a bust, how many yards is acceptable in 2025? And 70, overwhelming amount of people said 1,000 yards. So why would I have a problem with this? Why would I have a problem with this? Go ahead, Jill.
Well, I was gonna say, Mike, what's in your wallet? Why would you have an issue with this?
So let me say something. Well, let me. You know what? I'm a pull up. All right, name a tight end, a legendary tight end, not named Tony Gonzalez, and not named Travis Kelce.
Antonio Gates.
Okay, Antonio Gates. You want to look at Antonio Gates and look at his career as a tight end. Okay, and this is from the beginning almost to the end. All right. For the beginning, 389, 900, 1100, 900, 900, 900, 900, 900, 700, 1,000, 700, 700, 500, 800, 800, 600, 500, 300, 300. How many 1,000 yards do you think he had me just reading that out?
Sound like it was only about two of them.
Two!
But
Two!
here's what to explain about the Antonio Gates part. Can you name any of the wide receivers that played on that San Diego Chargers
Mm-hmm.
team?
And Kev, you just threw me the alley oop.
That's
I'm gonna say it because I know where Mike going, and I know the alley oop Kev just threw. Listen, people, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Get out your tissue. Get your obituaries together. Okay. Kyle Pitts is not going to be 1,000-yard receiver this season if he can help it. And here's why I say that. I know y'all love him. I know y'all got high expectations. Y'all got high hopes, but this man is not the main target on this team. He's not. He's a rotational receiver. He's not the main receiver. He's the rotational receiver. This ain't 2020 or 21. He got to share the ball with some new recruits and some guys that's trying to get their numbers back up too. He may not get 1,000 yards. We don't need him to. We don't need him to. See, y'all think that the Falcons are gonna have 6 players and we're gonna be putting up almost 8,000 yards this season. Why? Do you know how tired Michael Penix Jr. would be trying to get everybody 1,000 yards? No, they're rotational, which means that everybody has to get the ball an equal amount of times. Now, depending on what routes they run, how successful they are at running those routes, and if those routes become touchdowns, it's all dependent on how the game plays and how the defensive coordinators attack our offense.
okay.
But I see somebody gave a couple wide receivers, said Vincent Jackson. Vincent Jackson didn't really become Vincent Jackson until he went to Tampa. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Because even in San Diego, I don't even I think he made the only 1,000-yard season he had in San Diego. He was gone to Tampa Bay the very next year,
Yeah.
and I think somebody else said, hold on, Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen got there right around the tail end of Antonio Gates' career.
Mm-hmm. Now, y'all do realize one thing. By us having a rookie tight end and another rookie and two rookie wide receivers, this is what y'all got to understand. Pitts is still going to be the clear out guy when those young men are on the field. I hate to tell y'all that. He's not going to be.
Look. Oh my God. Finish, please, finish.
Yeah, but he's not. He's going to have a little bit easier time because of the guys that are still on the team. Yes, he's going to have an easier time because Penix is going to be able to get him the ball, but they're going to give those rookies opportunities to play. And you know how defensive coordinators do. They're going to try to test those rookies more so than the veterans. He's going to have to be the clear out guy until they get chemistry with the rest of the offense. Yeah, it's going to happen. So you're going to see him blocking too. So I'm just telling y'all. Don't come up here talking about he a bust because he ain't got 1,000-yard season when he got to share the ball with 5 other people. I'm telling you.
Look, this is why this is pure ignorance. Okay? This is why this pure ignorance. This is why the expectation that a lot of people won't admit it, but the reason why is that you keep looking at a draft spot as a reason why, like, to gauge someone's ability and skill set. This is what's wrong with y'all. And if it ain't you, shut the fuck up and move on, okay? If it ain't you saying that,
if it don't apply,
let it fly.
That's it. Let it
don't
fly.
apply, let it fly.
This is why it's stupid. I keep hearing everybody keep saying, "Oh, he was the number 1 fourth overall." Who the fuck cares?
Right.
Guess what? A kicker could have been. We had a kicker in Sebastian Janikowski. I believe he was the 21st pick in the NFL draft. Okay, is he supposed to be the greatest kicker of all time because he was drafted in the first round?
No.
Is he supposed to be the best kicker in Raiders history because he was drafted in the first round?
No.
So why is it that nobody says that because the Falcons gave up damn near their whole draft that Julio Jones was supposed to be loyal to the Atlanta Falcons? Nobody says that. That bitch got his money, stole it, and got the fuck on. Ain't nobody complaining about this. But we sitting up here talking about because Kyle Pitts was a 4th overall pick, then he got to be Julio. He got to replace Julio. He got to put up 1,000 yards after 1,000 yards after 1,000 yards. And then when y'all ask y'all a question, what would be an acceptable amount of yards to be considered a non-bust? Majority of the people say 1,000 yards. Ding dong, the witch is dead because that's already happened.
Right. He already got it.
So y'all want to hold him to some shit that he done already accomplished.
Oh, okay, you know what?
And hold on, because I want to add something else to it because this is very important. How if you have a number 1 receiver, and this dude is supposed to be legendary, Hall of Fame worthy, okay? How many touchdowns is acceptable for that particular wide receiver? Now, this guy he is a Hall of Fame worthy receiver. What is the acceptable amount of touchdowns that this guy should have?
Well, the expectations for that particular receiver will be anywhere between, well, no less than
Yeah,
6 or 7.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is what the
And
expectation is.
put your comments in. What is a respectable number for a Hall of Fame wide receiver to have with touchdowns? Okay, respectable.
Now, y'all do realize.
Hold on, don't, because I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give away too fast because this is very important for me to say this. I want to see what they say because because this is based on their comments. A respectable. No, I'm talking about yearly, not an overall. Yearly, every year, this wide receiver, Hall of Fame wide receiver, should have it. Every year, he should have this number. At the very least, at the very least, he should have this number because
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
What am I?
Keyshawn said eight a year at least. Quentin said 9. Terry, you just crazy. Don't do that. Don't. Ain't nobody in the league
ain't
doing
no
that.
damn
Yeah.
quick. You's a bitch. That's why it's a trick question because you's a bitch. You trying to avoid not answering the damn question. This is a simple ass question. Ain't no fucking trick question. We're talking about a Hall of Fame wide receiver. How is a Hall of Fame wide receiver a trick question when it comes down to a yearly average of touchdown? A Hall of Fame? That ain't no damn trick
See,
question.
He said
I know why he said it's a trick question. I know exactly why he said it's a trick question.
He know where he knows exactly where we going with this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's fear. It's fear of being wrong and looking at a guy and saying, "All right, we judging him unreasonably." Because this particular Hall of Famer, who I'm going to talk about, let me just read his entire. Okay, we're talking about his entire career and season. Okay, can I go on? Can I do this?
yeah.
I'm tired of all these bitches. Like everybody want to have an opinion, but everybody's scared to step out on the limb. Everybody's scared to step out on the limb and make a statement. There's a trick question. That's fear. That's a punk move. That is such a punk move to get out. So we're gonna start from the rookie year. Not gonna give up this player name, but 8, 10, 2, 6, 8, 6, 3, 8, 6, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Should I one? Should I
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
exactly who the hell you talking about.
Yeah. Go ahead now. Go ahead.
Should I say who it is?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let him sweat a little bit. Let's see if people are guessing that.
Let's wait a little bit. This is very important. This is very important for me to say this.
Did Bobby get it? Bobby boy
Mm-mm.
going to. Okay.
Nope. This is very important for the sake.
Crockett said Jerry Rice.
Nope.
No,
Somebody said Jerry. Somebody said who did?
I know exactly who. I knew it looked
Yeah,
like.
I know you.
I knew you was going there because when I
Uh-huh.
heard
That's
the
why I had.
when I heard the
That's
first
why I
I
had to
heard the
stop.
first 2 years, I said, "Yep, he went there."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One person, two people got it right.
Yeah,
Warren, do you know who this is? This person is?
I believe you said two people got it right. I think
Yeah, two people got it right.
I think I'm on the same. I was guessing the same thing. They were two of them was guessing. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all ready for me to indulge to give y'all who this guy is?
I think we got enough guesses, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead,
I
Mike.
think we got enough guess.
I know exactly. I know exactly who Mike talking about. But
Yeah.
Mike, go ahead,
This,
man. Let him know
this
who you talking
guy,
about.
this guy's going into the Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame. It ain't no question whatsoever that he's going to the Hall of Fame. Yet year after year after year, we try to put these numbers on Kyle Pitts, but when it came down to the great Contreras, aka Mr. Julio Jones, y'all
Yeah.
didn't hold him to those standards.
Yeah.
Y'all blamed it all on Matt Ryan. Quinn Torres, in his entire career, this dude had 1 year where he had more than 10 touchdowns. And he didn't have more than 1 year with more than 10 touchdowns. He only had 1 year, and that was his second year in the NFL.
Yeah, he was the wide.
Ironically, he played with the great Tony Gonzalez and Roddy White.
Mm-hmm.
And the
You
great
went right. You went right where I was going with it too,
Go
because
ahead, go ahead.
he was the wide receiver too
Mm-hmm.
when he
Yeah.
got those touchdown numbers. He was a
Now,
Mm-hmm.
he was a wide receiver too.
now,
It
now,
wasn't
now
until it became wide receiver one is where the yearly touchdown numbers start declining.
Exactly, and it started declining.
so
So go ahead, Juan.
I got an abstract question for everybody in the chat. How many of y'all in there like work a warehouse job or have to be on your feet for a long time? Just raise your hand or whatever. Put red and black. I don't care. But how many of y'all stand on your feet and walk around your job every day? Because I know, Kev, you on a lift, right?
Ooh, boy.
I'm on the lift, I'm in the truck, I'm on the floor, damn it, I'm everywhere.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. Do y'all actually realize y'all don't even walk 1,000 yards in your work career?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't
Yeah.
walk 1,000. Listen to me closely. Y'all don't walk 1,000 yards, most of y'all, in your own career. So how in the bloody hell do we expect the tight end who has 5 other people to have to share it with? How y'all expect him to get 1,000 yards? Unless y'all think Raheem gonna sit everybody down so Kyle Pitts can get the ball?
See, see. Wow, you went exactly where I was, where my mind. But see, well, you went right where my mind was going to go at too. Is if we're gonna if we're gonna, like I said, since we're using the talking point of Kyle Pitts being the fourth overall pick and he needs to have more yards, the question that I have to ask the audience this evening is: in order for Kyle Pitts to get that 1,400 yards that most Falcon fans are demanding him to get, because that poll, out of 112 votes, that poll was a lot closer than I would have thought. I think right now Drake London is leading that poll. I think last I checked, it was like 54% to 46%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's damn near 50-50.
So
So
and John said right there, highlight John's.
so the question now is, in, in, in order for Kyle Pitts to get that fourth, let me ask y'all a question. We taking Drake London out of this conversation now. How
Mm-hmm.
many of y'all want Kyle Pitts to get that 12 to 1,400 yard season in 2025?
Hmm.
Because from
No,
what I
no, 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 no,
understand,
no, 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 no. Mike, let's marinate.
hold on.
Let's get that. Let's get that
No,
marinating going.
all I'm saying, I'm not going. All I'm saying is what the poll says. We have a certain amount of numbers as far as this poll is concerned. Because K Styles and myself have already put the numbers out, so we just want to see.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
when y'all when y'all said we gonna give y'all a dose of reality.
Hmm. And
Because
like I said, man,
I know where Kev going. Kev, I know where you're going. I know where you're going. So I'm just gonna pair up with you. Go ahead. You go ahead
Right.
and tell us. Go ahead and tell us,
No,
because
no, no, no. Because I'm like I said, I'm looking for the people to kind of give me their talking points on a Kyle Pitts 12 to 1,400 yard season in 2025.
You know what crazy? How would y'all say? How good would you guys say Sam Laporta is?
yeah, JB1. I've been there, bro. Trust me. I got an injured knee to prove it.
Well, shit, boy.
I've been there, bro.
I got a bad shoulder, a bad knee. Um, my hip then got better now. It don't hurt as much no more. But
Yeah,
I guess.
them
Um,
warehouse jobs are brutal. They're
mhm.
brutal, bro.
But my Juan, do you see now that we
Mhm.
done took Drake London out of the equation as far as the question? Now we're putting the focus on Kyle Pitts.
Mhm.
So I asked the question again. How many Falcon fans, since he was the fourth overall pick, because this is what we're talking about with Kyle Pitts being the fourth overall pick. How many of y'all are expecting Kyle Pitts to be that 1,200 to 1,400 yard receiver in 2025?
Now we gonna give y'all the next 30 seconds to answer that. Because after that, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to burst the bubble. I'm gonna have to burst the
Nah, nah,
bubble.
nah, 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 nah. You gotta let me burst the bubble, and I gotta let you clean it up.
Okay, because yeah, it's this
This is funny. This is really funny.
Because remember, Kyle Pitts it was a fourth overall pick tight end. Because
Mm-hmm.
this is what we were told with him being a fourth overall pick tight end. He's
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to be looked at as a regular tight end.
right,
Exactly.
right, right.
That's right there. This is why these polls are important. Because we
Hmm.
want to give y'all a visual on why you got like
Hmm.
what you're saying, a visual of what you're saying.
Yeah, Kev,
Hmm.
Kev, go ahead and go ahead and burst the bubble because it's uh mm, yeah
And it's
and
crazy, and it's crazy because it's somebody in the chat right here that actually went on the same page as where I was going with it.
yeah.
So in order, so that would mean, hold on, let me put it up here. Let me put it up here. And the South Side here says tight ends don't usually get 12 to 1,400 yards in a season, especially with other good wide receivers on the team.
That's one. That's
But
one.
but this is the main one right here. Darnell Mooney, Bijan Robinson, Tyler touches will have to be sacrificed if Pitts could have an opportunity to get 1,400
So
yards.
I'm glad Keyshawn said it, and I'm glad Kev brought it up. If you want Pitts to have a consistent over 900-yard season, you have no more Bijan Robinson. You don't really have Tyler Algier. You don't have Mooney. We can't even talk about Drake. You got to lose at least four players on that rotation and make him the hit. You got to lose four players on rotation. Let's do the math. You got six. You got to lose four players out of that six. And with them two left, Kyle Pitts got to be number one. So you're basically taking the Falcons back to 2021 when Matt Ryan was here. You got to have that kind of situation where it's Kyle Pitts and everybody else in order to have that. You're
So
not
let me
going to have
ask
that.
so let me ask you a question. One,
Yeah.
let me ask my question. How do you feel about how did you feel about the Atlanta Falcons wide receiver core in 2021 compared to 2025?
I was nauseated.
Yeah, I wanted to bite my own.
All right, Quentin. He said y'all be cool. All right, man. Appreciate you coming in, man. So that's a question for the people.
That's another thing too. How many years have you ever seen seasons that we've seen from a tight end for more than 1,200 yards?
But this the thing. This the thing. It's
I
not.
haven't.
It's like you said. You see it plenty of times. But the question that you have to ask is,
No, 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 no.
no, no.
Yeah, it happened. It's
Hold,
not
hold
as
on,
bad.
hold on. You. So the question is, how many times have we seen tight ends have these type of seasons? That's
It's
the question you ask.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we see a few of them.
yeah, it's few and far between.
It's few and far between, but the reason why you see them is the wide receiver cores on those teams are average at best.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
I get that. I'm not asking why. I'm just asking how many do you think we've seen from this in its entirety in the history of NFL?
in the entire history of the NFL, it's been a few times. Obviously, you had Travis Kelsey. Um,
Probably
let's
Gronk.
see. I don't think
Gronk.
Gronk ever. I don't think Gronk ever got that.
He never got the
He
thousand. I
was
mean,
He did.
he got 1,000, but he was more of a touchdown machine really than anything.
yeah. That's what I was
Um,
gonna say.
George Kittle, we've seen that. Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Um, let me see. You said as far as the tight end position.
the tight end
Uh,
position. How many 1,200 plus seasons that we've had from them? How many do you think there's been in
mm,
the history of the NFL?
No, I can't
Just
even.
a
yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's few and far between.
n- Now,
I think it might have been less than 10 tight ends that actually have had that type of
You're absolutely correct
number.
by that.
yeah. But see, here's something else that they don't understand.
Hold on. I'm about to give people the numbers. I'm about to give people the numbers for that.
Okay. Go and get the numbers, Mike. Cause like I said, I'm about to learn something here too.
Yeah.
Give me
In
them
the history of
numbers.
the NFL, how long do you think the NFL is for the most part? How long do you think how old the NFL is? Goes
NFL
back
about that. That
Now,
NFL
to 50,
damn near 100
right?
years old right
yeah.
now.
Cause it's
It
coming
was
up on
about
100 years.
100 years old.
Yeah.
So we'll just say the 50s and the 60s where they start. I mean, they've always kept the tight end for the most part, but we'll just say from the 50s. There's always, since from the 50s, there's been 14 seasons where tight ends have caught the ball over 1,200 yards. 14
Out of 100.
14
out of
tight ends
100
and
plus years or so.
Damn.
14 tight ends in the last 70 years.
Right,
Yeah.
7 years, and we asking Kyle Pitts to do 1,000 yards.
No.
We're asking him to do this. And Kelsey did it like 3, 4 times.
Hmm.
This is why I say it's like what we're asking for isn't reality.
Yeah.
This is video games. These are video game numbers that we're asking tight ends to do. Guys like so. This is why when you went out, this is why I get so frustrated and so angry about people saying Kyle Pitts is a bust. You don't even know the history. You don't even know your own history. This doesn't happen for tight ends when they get thrown
Hmm.
the ball, or even catch the ball or receiving yards. This doesn't happen for a tight end to get 1,000 yards like that. And we're
Well,
saying this guy's an absolute failure because he's only done it one time. But when you look at the history of the NFL, it's only been done 14 times.
see,
But
and this is what I was going to talk about. See, and another aspect y'all not understanding is y'all not looking at who's your quarterback because Mike just broke this down a couple days ago, telling you about how Penix and how certain quarterbacks throw. In 2021, if Mike Penix had been the quarterback there, he'd have had a hard time, except for throwing to Kyle Pitts because the receivers were so small.
Mm-hmm.
He's used to throwing to receivers his height or bigger. So if you want a Kyle Pitts to have a 1,400-yard season with just Michael Penix, then you're basically, number one, you're stifling the offense. You're sending a bunch of great players home, and then you're making the offense one-dimensional. And this is the problem that has plagued the offense when the Falcons had it. Falcons have had a more or less than not a one-dimensional offense. Now, remember, I told y'all our DNA is running the ball. But now you're forcing this man to just throw to Kyle Pitts because everybody else ain't gonna get the ball.
That's
So
not
now
going to happen.
the balance that makes this team deadly. Okay, the balance that makes this team deadly and the less wear and tear that you put on Kyle Pitts, you're now asking for that. So basically, if you want 12 or 1,400 yards out of Kyle Pitts, you're telling us you want this young man to last maybe about 3 or 4 years.
But the thing is, even with that one, it's like, again, it goes back to the subject at hand. You're asking a guy to do things that hasn't been done in the NFL consistently.
Right.
And this is less than 10% chance of tight ends actually doing this a year. You're asking him to not be considered a bust, to do things that about 10 to 15% of tight ends in the history of the game have done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is how psychotic and idiotic your expectations is for Kyle Pitts, because he was a number 4 overall pick.
And here's the deal. Y'all got it messed up. Y'all think that everybody that goes in the first round is going to be great when most of the people, especially quarterbacks, suck in the first round. Second thing, I'm looking at what Southside said, and he said that's why it's good we brought in Nash and Skinner. Both are over 6'1" and can play both outside and slot, unlike Ray, who mostly plays the slot. Here's what you got to understand about the Falcons. Falcons got a superb offense. Why? Because not one offensive weapon will get worn down more than the other. If you rotate them, then that's less chance they get injured. That's more chance you have fresh players going into the playoffs, where teams are usually maybe at best 4 weapons on their team total. We got 6. That lessens the chance, that gives them more time to rest, and it gives your offensive coordinator more plays he can open up in his book to confuse defensive coordinators. When you have a one-sided offense, they take that one weapon away, you cooked. Bill Belichick, right now, the kind of offense we got is Bill Belichick's nightmare because he got to figure out who he going to take away first. Y'all are sacrificing.
This is another thing why it's idiotic to keep talking about Kyle Pitts being a failure. How many touchdowns do you think this guy had, Travis Kelce had, the last 2 years?
I think a total of like 6, something, if I'm mistaken.
This man had one more touchdown than Kyle Pitts the last 2 years. The best tight end in the game had one more touchdown than Kyle Pitts the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we're expecting Kyle Pitts to be some legend in all of this. This is why these numbers, and actually listening to the numbers and stop listening to these fucking morons that call themselves analysts that work in the Falcon niche. They put all these stupid numbers out here. This dude had one more touchdown than Kyle Pitts the last 2 years, and we're talking about Travis Kelce playing with the best quarterback in the game and Pat Mahomes. And he had one more touchdown than Kyle Pitts the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
See, but like I said, that actually goes back to that one question.
Mm-hmm.
In order for Kyle Pitts to get that 1,000 to 1,400 yard season, whose touches have to be sacrificed?
Yes.
And this is where the interesting part of that comes into,
I know that
because
answer to it. I know the answer to y'all not gonna like the answer to it. It's
Oh,
really
I'm with you. If I think I know where you're going, yeah, they not gonna like it.
people not gonna like it. And it look, if Kyle Pitts is gonna, if all our receivers are gonna get the numbers, then one person, two people numbers are gonna have to decline. Period.
because
Yeah, I'm not gonna like what I got to say about it.
because here's the reason why. Here's the reason why I say this. I just pulled up the rankings. The Atlanta Falcons, despite Kirk Cousins and his mayonnaise mess ups,
Mm-hmm.
the Atlanta Falcons had the sixth best offense in the NFL last year.
Yep, yep,
Six best.
six bets.
They still putting
That's
Hold
up.
on, hold on, hold
top
on, hold
10.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. They had a top five passing offense and a top 10 rushing offense
Mm-hmm.
that was ranked fifth in passing and 10th in rushing.
Now hold that point right there. I'm gonna say this. I don't know if this is on par with Mike, but if you want Kyle Pitts to have them numbers consistently, you're gonna have to scrap the run game.
That right there.
You're gonna
You
have
gotta
to
get
scrap
rid
the
of. You
run
gotta
game.
get rid of either Bijan. You gotta significantly decrease his touches, or you gotta get rid of Tyler Algier
Hmm.
because of the expectation that you guys have set on, and this is why the expectations with certain numbers of guys aren't. They're not fair,
Right.
especially if you're trying to build a roster with talented guys. Somebody ain't touching the ball. Somebody gonna have to be a blocker. This is why Kyle Pitts being a tight end benefits the entire offense. And what Warren always saying, he's the guy. He does the things to clear out. He blocks, and like you can debate whether or not you believe that he's a good blocker. None of that matters. But something is going to have to be. You got to give up something.
Now, Mike, I want to bring this up. Remember when? Now, okay,
Hold on. Let me put this comment up because we keep we keep yeah, we keep making a bunch of excuses. Bijan Robinson had almost 400 touches.
yeah.
Hold
You
on,
see what I'm saying?
let me do this. Let me see. Bijan Robinson had 365 touches.
Hmm.
Mhm. That's 365. How many did Tyler have?
Tyler had 150. So you're looking
150.
at about 515 touches between two running backs.
Right.
So, in order to get the numbers that you want from Kyle Pitts and this Atlanta Falcons offense, you got to scrap the run game.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
this is what
Or
you guys are asking for.
Now, I'm gonna bring this up. It's something else y'all haven't even thought about. And I know Mike, we talked about this earlier. What if Zach Robinson decided, you know what? I want to put a two tight end set on the field. Guess what happens? Let's just say you put Kyle Pitts and Joshua Simon on the field. Guess what happens? Kyle Pitts is the clear out guy because the way Joshua Simon's game runs, he's a tight end that's good with yak yards.
Mhm.
mhm.
So because he's a rookie, they gonna put Kyle Pitts at the blocker so that he can get open. And he's gonna maul down who's ever in front of him. Guess what? Kyle don't get them, he don't get them yards. This is what y'all not understanding. Zach Robinson has an offense. He can mix and match players, whether they be rookie or veteran. But in certain situations, the veteran is going to play the role he's been playing so the rookies can eat. So he's not going to get the yardages y'all looking for. Y'all not taking it into account.
So so let me put these numbers together. And Mike, I think you'll be proud of me when I do this. Y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So 2024, Drake London had 1,271 yards on 100
Mhm.
receptions and 9 touchdowns.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Darnell Mooney, 64 receptions, 992 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Mm, that's two.
Ray Ray Magoof, 62 receptions for 686 yards and 1 touchdown.
That's
Mm-hmm.
Rufus boy.
Kyle Pitts, 47 receptions, 602 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Mm.
Mm.
Kadero Hodge, 7 receptions, 131, 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the kicker. Bijan Robinson had 1,887 scrimmage yards on 365 touches for 15 touchdowns.
Mm. And he
So
was third.
Falcon fans,
He was third in the league.
so Falcon fans, if you want Drake London to keep his numbers up the way he do, if you want Darnell Mooney to keep the numbers up the way he do, and you want Kyle Pitts to get 1,200 yards, you see that 1887 from Bijan Robinson?
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to get it's gonna have to get diminished down by about 400, 500 yards. Are y'all ready for that?
Mm.
Oh, you ready for that? Because that's
Now,
what you
No. That's the question right now. Like I said, that is the burning question now. Falcons fans, if you want Kyle Pitts to get those fourth overall tight end numbers that y'all complain that he doesn't get, are you willing to see the Falcons cut Bijan Robinson's production down by 500 yards?
and mind you, that's 60% of the offense. I hate to say it. That's 60%.
Mm-hmm. I don't, and that's why we like to use the facts, the stats, and the truth about it, because the things that we're asking for out of our players, because we keep hearing these idiots, these morons write all these articles and Kyle Pitts, he's a number 4 overall and he dramatically uh 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 he's declining or he's not living up to expectations because he's a number 4 overall pick. You're not taking into account that you got to look at look, for example, this is a perfect example of this. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They got weapons all over the field. AJ, Smith, and then you want to get the ball into Saquon Barkley's hand almost every play. You want him to touch the ball about 30 to 40 times a game. Somebody ain't getting the ball. So
Right.
so essentially what you're saying, because we want Kyle Pitts to have a certain amount of numbers so he wouldn't be perceived as a bust. You say he won 1,000 yards, so he won't be perceived as a bust. Y'all want to take the ball out of him because that's what's going to happen. Because AJ Brown was perfectly fine with not getting the ball. Why? Because they was winning games.
Mm-hmm.
He was fine with it. Smith was fine with it.
So instead of looking at it from that standpoint, this is how I look at it from this standpoint when it comes to Kyle Pitts. You do realize the closer he stays around that 600-700 yard mark, the cheaper he is to keep.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Y'all do realize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's something else. If you make Kyle Pitts that 1,200-yard person, you basically saying Bijan be gone because they're gonna have to let him go. They're gonna have to let Bijan go, and then Kyle Pitts' price goes up. So you're not gonna be able to pay for Kyle and Bijan. So Bijan's gonna be gone.
No, Bijan ain't the problem. Remember, Jay London contract time is coming up.
But I know that. That's what I'm
So,
saying. Somebody gonna have to go.
like you said, if you expecting Drake London to get about 1,300, 1,400 yards under Michael Penix, and Kyle Pitts 1,000 to 1,200, Falcons got a big choice to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me say that again. Let me say that again for the people in the back. If you have Drake London and Kyle Pitts both go over 1,300 yards in 2025, the Falcons have a choice to make.
Let me,
They
let
can't keep
me let me
everybody.
let me say this real quick because everybody keeps saying that this is about the players. This ain't about the players. This is about the system at hand. Anytime you have any running back that goes over 1,100 yards all purpose, you got to give him about $30 million in guaranteed money. Anytime you have a wide receiver that goes over 1,000, you got to start paying them $20+ million. You have to. That's the market. So this is not just a Drake London or a Kyle Pitts or a Bijan Robinson. The numbers speak for itself. So in order to be able to keep all these players, you want all these players to have subpar numbers. That's what's best for the team, to have a bunch of guys with subpar numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as one guy, like a Julio Jones type season, T.O., all these guys, you see T. Higgins, all these guys, they putting up them 14, 13, 1,400. Well, they got to get paid as such. So the best thing for this team is to keep Kyle Pitts around that 47 receptions, 600-yard season, maybe 6 to 10 or 4 to 10 touchdowns a year. That right there is how you keep a team together
Mm-hmm.
with
Mhm.
the talent.
Yeah.
Because everybody's infatuated with the numbers, but like, to be honest, I would much rather have a 200 receptions with three guys than have one guy with 150 receptions and 1,800 yards.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And
I'll be able to keep those guys around and we'll keep winning. We'll keep putting up the same numbers, but we wouldn't be paying $30 million to every last one of them.
but see,
And
and
then,
then
go ahead, one.
and so Mike, you were leading to something we were talking about earlier today. And see, y'all got to understand too. The reason why teams like Philly and KC and all of them always end up in the playoffs and in the postseason is because, and Don brought this up, you get bonuses. You get bonuses. Bonuses, when you pay bonuses out to players, that gives cushion to the cap. You know what I'm saying? So the more you win, the more you get to the end of the season, the more you get into postseason, the more you get closer to the championship, the more Super Bowls you win, the team gets more money. And like Mike said, you keep the core together. I want my team to win. I ain't care. I'm not really concerned about everybody breaking record numbers because guess what? Yeah, you might want one or two players in the Pro Bowl. That's good for them. That's good for their resume. But I
Highlight
want
Southside's highlight Southside's comment.
right here.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah, we're not talking about the players. See, y'all are so infatuated with the players, but that's not why the players are getting paid that much money. It's the numbers that's paying these guys.
mhm.
You
yeah.
hear me? Let me say that again. It's not the player. Teams don't care nothing about your personality. They don't care about nothing how you scream and yell and how people like. What they care about is try to keep you at a certain number. That's why they don't want guys like George Pickens to get the ball, because George Pickens, if they have to pay him, guess what? They got to pay him what his numbers say. So if I can keep Kyle Pitts on his team and I can keep him around that 40 to 50 catch
50 receptions.
numbers,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can
50
pay
receptions,
him.
about. Yeah.
Go.
Go ahead, my bad. My bad, Mike. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is I'll be able to keep Kyle Pitts, Drake London, all these guys around that number because I'll be paying them anywhere from 13 to about 18. And that's wide receivers and tight end. Because based on their numbers, players don't get paid because you're the number one wide receiver in the line of Falcons history. They don't care nothing about that. It's what the numbers say. That's how players get paid. It's about the numbers.
Here's my question, and I'm gonna ask the chat: would y'all rather have standout players and a losing team, or would y'all rather have subpar players to keep the money low and a winning team? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, we got Pro Bowlers on this team, and we ain't won shit. I don't care nothing about them Pro Bowl numbers. I don't care nothing about how many yards they got. If them yards don't lead to a Super Bowl, what does it matter? Because guess what's gonna happen when them numbers go up and you can no longer pay them, they go to other teams, and guess what? Other teams understand that concept. They keep it lower, then they go to a Super Bowl, and then you're sitting there mad because you wanted this man to have mad numbers, but you got NFL losses. I don't care nothing about that. I want wins. I want
Why you
wins.
think Grady Jarrett is no longer here? Y'all think because Grady Jarrett ain't a good person? That's not why he not here. He was getting paid more than what the numbers that we was putting up. You see?
Josh, stupid.
That's
That's not
why
how
he not
you
here.
ask
He
that
didn't
one.
want to get the money. He didn't want to get the money. He didn't want to give the money back. And the Falcons said, "Nah, bro, we can get somebody else to give us 70-something tackles and 4 sacks a year." And they got a white boy named Morgan Fox that can do that. You see what I'm saying? So it's not people. Look, Grady Jarrett is a great person, a great talent, but his numbers didn't make sense for the team.
So based on a couple of these articles that I'm finding, that I'm trying to look up, I'm making a guess here. So in order to keep Kyle Pitts long term for less than $12 million, he's going to have to keep he's going to have to keep that number right
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what that does is, and what one would say, you keep your clear out guy cheap,
Yeah.
Yep.
and you still have the money to pay Drake London.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Be- be-
Exactly.
because here's my tactical mind. Number one, I keep wear and tear on my valuable tight end at very low. Okay.
Hmm.
I save money. I keep the core of my team together so that we can shoot for more championships. Now, when you get in the postseason, you get over that hump and you get back into the playoffs. Guess what happens? You're now a problem for every team in the playoffs because you have an inexhaustible amount of fresh players on the offense and the defense. Anytime a team got a rotation, that's the team that's going to outlast other teams. That's what you want. I want to have low pay, low injury, good
Mm-hmm.
results. And that
Yeah.
means that for that,
Southside right there.
yeah,
Southside right about that. That's the reason why Judon and Simmons are not here. For the money that we were playing, we could get that from rookies, younger
Hmm.
players.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
See, y'all not
Uh,
paying attention. Why y'all think they went out and got another big tight end? Pay attention to the undrafted free agency stuff. Why do you think they went out and got another freight train style tight end? It wasn't because Kyle Pitts wasn't good. It's because guess what? We're gonna bring you along, but we're also gonna scale Kyle Pitts back to keep him. They don't. Atlanta knows the league fears Kyle Pitts. Why would I let him walk?
Kyle Pitts can obtain $100 million in his career if he just play ball. That's
Yeah,
it. We can
think
still
about
get
it.
it.
Think about this, and I'm going to piggyback off of what Juan just said. Think about this. Kyle Pitts got his reputation in 2021 in a year that the Atlanta Falcons had no receivers. Am I correct?
correct.
Mm-hmm.
A year in which he was bracketed more than most wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct, Mike?
Indeed.
What happened after that season? What happened after 2021? that a lot of people didn't really pay attention to. Do you remember what happened after 2021?
Well, for one, Matt Ryan left. You started getting other quarterbacks, and you started doing it. You started doing hopscotch with the quarterbacks, and
Yeah,
then
that too.
and then on top of that, you started plugging in a run game because I think we got Tyler Algier that next
Hmm.
season, and you had Caleb Huntley, which means we had a more robust running game. So
Yeah.
the quarterback didn't have to necessarily throw to Kyle Pitts all the time because you could run the ball. And we had a coach
Hmm.
that wanted to run the piss out the ball.
Hmm. This is what happened. Who was the next tight ends that got paid after 2021 that reset the tight end
Big,
market?
big, what the name is? Whatever that motherfucking name is. Came from
George
Tennessee.
Kittle got an extension.
Yeah,
Remember, Travis Kelsey got the extension.
yeah.
It was a
And that
lot of tight ends that started resetting that
Always
market.
Andrews got his money.
yeah.
Hmm.
And ain't that's the
Oh,
year that's the year that whatchamacallit had that tight end camp too.
hmm.
Kelsey had that tight end
But
camp that Kyle Pitts went to.
but but remember, as long as Kyle Pitts was the number one option on this Falcons team, the more expensive he was becoming.
Yeah.
Why do you think you draft a Drake London? Why do you
Why
think you draft a Bijan Robinson?
Hmm.
you can keep
Not only
Kyle
that,
Pitts.
yeah, not only do you have a plethora of talent, but for a tight end market that was increasing at that point in time, the more numbers that he was able to put up being the number one guy in Atlanta, the more expensive he was becoming.
Now, with you saying that, here's the caveat. Imagine if we didn't get those players, and then that year that Kyle Pitts got hurt in that Chicago game. Guess what? You cooked. Atlanta learned that year that if we keep leaning on just one player to be the star player, we're cooked. This is the reason
Mhm.
why Terry went out and got a bunch of guys that are good. Number one, they're low pay, but the rotation keeps them injury free, if at all best. And if one person goes down, the offense still functions. You can't have a rookie quarterback with a one-dimensional offense. He only got one target to throw to.
It goes back to finances. It goes back to finances. The Falcons aren't bringing in all these edge guys so they can have one of the most dominant. Well, it's actually financially. Um, it helped them to have their finances stable on the defense side of the ball. If you continuously bring in a bunch of edge guys, so what happens is if one guy have an elite season where he got 20 sacks in a season, well, you don't have to pay him because you have another one in line. You don't need him. And what happens with that is if you don't need him, you can trade him away for a second, fourth, and some draft picks and start the process all over again. So this is what the Atlanta Falcons have created with what this offense is. Yeah, I have Bijan. Yeah, I have Drake London, Kyle Pitts, all these guys on the offense side of the ball. But the more that you keep bringing in all this talent, you don't have to be subjected to whatever that player's demands are. So it creates for your organization safety. I don't have to give you $50 million like you want. I can give you 35. Why? Because I have your replacement on the team already. So that's why you draft Draylen Walker. That's why you bring in James Pierce Jr. Because one, if Leonard Floyd has 15 sacks in the season, he say, "Hey, bro, I want $20 million." Falcons like, man, please, I already got your replacement.
Like, get the fuck out. That's what they did with Grady Jarrett.
That's what they did with Grady. Grady didn't want to play ball. So they said, all right, you don't want to play ball? You don't want to give us no money back? Bye-bye.
Rook
Grady didn't
and
want to
Brandon
play.
Doyle. Rook and Doyless. Rook
Mm-hmm.
and Doyless was the end of Grady Jarrett.
Mm-hmm. So that it actually helps your team with their finances by bringing in a lot of this talent, and that's why it's like everybody keeps saying, "Man, y'all ain't focused on winning." Yeah, they are. They're just not doing it the way y'all want it. Y'all just want to bring in and spend all the money in free agency and spend all the money in spend all the picks in draft. But you got to be smart about it,
As the Jacksonville Jaguars, when they had over $200 million in salary cap and free agency, and blew
man.
all
Look,
that shit in 2 days.
they blew all that shit in 2 days, and then wide receivers and all the weapons that they had, all of them, damn near every last one of them.
And out of that free agency class, which was like 2022, if I'm mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
I think Foyer,
Yep.
I think Foyer is the last remaining guy out of that free agency class that's still in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he is.
Gone. What's the
Basically,
wide? We got two Gabe Davis and the other wide receiver.
Gabe Davis just got cut. The dude they picked up last year, he
Was
got
it
some
Arizona?
weird ass name. It's something he got some Fukasham, something like that. The one that they paid like 45-50 million for. They cut him, like you said, Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk getting that $80 million contract in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up cutting him 2 years later. So free agency. If your team is dependent on free agency to win football games,
Mm-mm.
your team philosophy is already flawed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You only use that to recover. You only use that to
Mm-hmm.
recover, or when you're in a financial situation that you
Mm-hmm.
can possibly get out of. What y'all got to understand though is too, you find out who are team players. When everybody's numbers are hovering around the same, or how you say the norm in the NFL, and you got somebody else's replacement, guess what that does for you? That lets you know that you're not safe at all. So now when it comes time for contract negotiations, you're more liable to play ball. And the ones
Mm-hmm.
that actually for the actual organization that cares about the team winning, they'll stick around. They won't have a problem with, what I'm saying, taking an extension here and there so that the team can win. And now I've said this many times on this show about baseball. The reason the New York Yankees team imploded after the Braves got their first World Series is because they snatched up all the stars. There was no Indians on that team. That team collapsed because everybody wanted
Mm-hmm.
to shine. Everybody, and New York couldn't keep up with it. They had to let all their people go.
Mm-hmm.
This is
I'm
why.
sorry.
This is why the super team ideology no longer works, because there's so much money being passed around in NFL. People act like divas before
Yeah.
they even prove themselves.
Every 2 years, every year, or every 2 years, they want more guaranteed money. So that's why you double down on receivers and weapons offensively. That's why you double down on defensively because the players, it's the superstar players that don't want to play ball. And like I said, it was Grady Jarrett. That's the reason why he's gone. He didn't want to play ball. He didn't want to get no money back. That's why he's
That
not
man,
here.
that man John St. Clair said the Falcons were on welfare at that time. Yeah, they
But
damn sure was on welfare.
bro, that government cheese and that can of beef, yes,
They
all of it.
mm-hmm.
Don't let
And
these go ahead.
like Mike was about to say, don't let these goofies out here tell you that team building is not important. Team
Mm-hmm.
building also comes with sacrifices as well.
Right.
Sacrifice that right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was about to say.
That's what.
There hasn't been one NFL team that won a championship that didn't sacrifice internally. Trust me.
You see
Mhm.
Jake Matthews sacrificing, Caleb sacrificing. You got
Real.
Chris Lindstrom, all these guys sacrificing. In order to, you saw Matt Ryan year after year sacrificing. In order
Mhm.
to have longevity and consistently have, run at championships, you got to sacrifice. You got to be able to give
Mhm.
back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We were just talking about that with the Eagles with Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox. Like they sacrificed their money for 2-3 years in a row in order to build a championship, the champion that we see
Yeah.
this past year. They sacrificed over and over and over again. Kept giving it. They signed this big contract and they said, "All right, y'all want to restructure, so we can bring in more talent."
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. So that's why when you look at again, I keep going back to Grady Jarrett. That's why his ass is gone. That's why Simmons is gone. The money that they was putting up, that they were getting paid, the numbers that they were getting, yeah, we don't need y'all. Bye.
And the funny
Mhm.
thing is, he gonna go to Chicago and fill it. He gonna go to
Yeah,
Chicago and fill it. What?
I wish him the best, but like most of the time when you get that age and you go to a new team, it doesn't necessarily work out.
Because the thing is, he see when you got a player like Grady Jarrett, if he'd have stayed here and played ball, they would have had some big guys built around him. That way, the later years in his career would have been cushioned. You go to another team like Chicago. Let's say they don't have a winning season. Guess what happens? You in the same boat, bro. So now that money that you got becomes finite, and them injuries add up now. Because now you playing in colder weather. You got anybody that got a serious injury, you playing colder weather for a long period of time, it wears on you.
Mhm. Yeah, there you go, Southside. This is why you see Judon and Simmons still in free agency as we speak.
Right.
They don't want to sacrifice their worth as players. Sometimes if you want to win, Judon and Simmons, you got to take them 2 to 3 year deal, 2 to 3 year $1 million deal, or
Right.
them veteran minimum and maximum. You got to take that. So if
Mhm.
you end up playing better, guess what? They'll give you a second contract. But sometimes you gotta look. Sometimes you got to do that when you no longer that man. It don't matter what you think you are.
Do
Let me
y'all
let
know?
me let me give y'all a perfect example. Let me give y'all a relatable example. The most relatable example that y'all can have about this concept is on your very screen right now.
Yeah.
Go
Mike has enough of a following right now to where his channel could actually be upwards of 15K to 20K right now.
Yep.
But what he did was he took a ragtag of football fans to help build up and help, expand is what you see on the screen. Not even just on the screen, but just as far as Atlanta Falcon Nation, the Holy Alliance, the AOA. Mike has sacrificed his channels for a lot of us and
Mm-hmm.
helping us give y'all the content that we bring out, giving us, like I said, passing ideas that he could use himself to build his platform more.
Yep.
This is why Mike is not at 15K. For y'all, for those that may be wondering, why Mike at 20K or 15K? Because Mike is sacrificing ideas to help bring along a lot of people.
But at the same time, he has tripled and double views consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is he's able to reach more people because and with a network, I know people that Mike don't know. Kev know people that Mike don't know. So the more people you got in your group, the more listeners you got, the bigger you get. So that 15K will jump to 25K very easily when everybody comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And
In a way, the very group of people that y'all call a cult makes a lot of sacrifices
for
within the group for each other.
Yeah, we're a system, and this is now. I'm gonna throw y'all about 9 to 10 months ahead of this right now. What if right now we're having this conversation, and come September, the Falcons get in and they catch fire again, but this time they don't drop off. Do you know how sick everybody that left off this team is going to be if we make it into the postseason and end up in the championship?
boy.
Do you know how sick? Do you know how sick you'll be saying I didn't want to play ball with them cats? Now I'm watching my opportunity to get my ring pass me by in my face. Do you know how painful it is? Let these Falcons fuck around and catch fire and stay that way. Hurt? Okay. Grady Jarrett might retire. I can't do this no more. They didn't got a ring. He probably will retire.
The Atlanta Falcons right now are set up for the now and the future in 2025. This team is set up for that on both sides of the football.
Mm-hmm. And special teams.
Yeah. All three phases of the game, they set up for the now and the future. The only thing that has to be put on display is their potential. And everything and this whole team's future. And I'm not putting the pressure on Michael Penix or nothing to be no superstar or nothing like that, even though we know he got star qualities. I'm not gonna put that on him. But offensively, he is the factor that's gonna be the difference between there's three players on this team that I believe are going to be the key factors in this team making the playoffs in 2025. It's Michael Penix. It's going to be Jalen Walker.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing Bijan Robinson in this, Bijan or Drake or Kyle in this because those are too obvious. It's going to be Zach Harrison. These are going to be the three main factors for this team to be in the playoffs in 2025.
And I'm gonna put an honorable mention. I'm gonna put Jesse Bates in there just for being a locker room leader.
And you said a key thing too. And this is why this 2025 draft class was so important too. Well, hell, the last couple drafts here, you brought in a lot of guys who were locker room leaders. A lot of guys who are used to, being the alpha dog in their prospective football teams. Because, Mike, what was that question we always ask? Who is the leader on this team? Who is the guy that's going to be that one to rile the troops together?
We needed that.
You got one on offense and you got one on defense, and then you have you got locker room leaders on both sides of the ball, and then you got the generals right around them.
And then Josh St. Clair said the $64,000 question is, can Raheem coach this team?
John, John, but you know what? That's a good question, John. I'm gonna make you dig into your memory. You notice there's always one or two teams in the NFL where the players lead themselves. It's rare. They don't really talk about it as much because they like to give coaches glory. But I told Mike and them this. I said the way Michael Penix play, the way Jesse Bates is, and the way some of these new rookie players are, Raheem don't have if Raheem gets off on that field, guess what? Mike and them gonna lead themselves. And Raheem gonna have to catch up. And with this thing that just came out about Jeff Ulbrich, he right there with him. He gonna be right there with him because the thing that Mike had a problem with, and I agree with him, there was nobody speaking out about the foolishness that was happening last season other than Jesse Bates. Now Jesse Bates got people in the locker room with him on the other side of the ball that's gonna be like, because Mike Penn is gonna be like, we're not doing that. That's how we gonna win. I want my quarterback, I want my defensive players to be mad at my head coach when he ain't doing stuff. I want the OC and the DC and the head coach going at it. Why? Because that lets me know y'all competitive. Y'all want to win. If all y'all standing on the sideline chewing gum, we lost.
Yeah. Can I give y'all a hot take right quick if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
If you look at how they building this team and how and the way that they did, I think regardless of what happened, I don't think Raheem Moore's gonna be here that long anyway.
No, he ain't.
If you look at how the team is constructed and the type of leadership that they bringing in, Jeff Ulbrich was brought in as an insurance policy. He's the next guy. He's the next guy in line.
And you're seeing it on the field.
I mean, I can see that.
I told y'all when we got Ulbrich, I said Raheem's not gonna be able to pull the same bullshit he did with Jimmy Lake, because Ulbrich gonna be like, bro, that's not gonna work. Cut that shit out. And Raheem just gonna have to be mad. He gonna have to be mad because he's not gonna be able to get away with that. You can't sun him because y'all are equal. Y'all on equal terms. You just your designation is just different. That's all. But if you look at it, I want y'all to do something. The training camps, watch all of them. Watch how Ulbrich is involved and watch how Raheem is involved. If you see Raheem standing on the field with his arms folded and you see Ulbrich damn near about to roll over in the dirt with his players, that lets me know who is involved in actually trying to make winners. That's it. When you standing there with your glazed ankles and your capri pants and you chewing your Orbit's gum and you got Jeff Ulbrich out there on his knees looking like a husky, and he out there making his players bark. Yeah, I want that dude. I want the crazy looking dude.
Yeah,
I don't want him over there. I don't want no dude over in the middle in the field powdering his nose because he's sweating.
Yeah, cause the more that I look at how they attack this team building shit this year. Oh, they setting this team up for Jeff Ulbrich. They are anticipating Raheem Morris to fuck up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just look at the type of players they brought in. They are anticipating Raheem Morris to fuck up.
How do you lose half a season when you were winning? Even crackhead Craig would have won us the daggone season. He'd have just kept doing. Crackheads, that one thing I give crackhead credit. Once they get high, they keep going back for the same high. They don't go over here and try a new high. They don't try to jump off a building and see if that works. They don't go running traffic. They stay on the same drug that kept them high. So at least I know he consistent enough to get high off of the same crack. Raheem want to bungee jump off the building with no cord. He want to skydive with no parachute. He want to stand in front of a train and try to stop it with his bare hands and then say, well, I don't know what happened with the season.
So what you saying is I don't want no strawberry crack. I just want the regular crack.
Right. I want the good old fashioned mayonnaise looking crack. I want that. Get me the same high every time.
High all the time. High all the time. I will say that. I will say that. I will also since you said you want to get high, since you gonna get high all the time. I will say, um, that Wiz Khalifa cushion orange juice too is a slapper. So I just want to put that out there. Shout out to Wiz Khalifa. But just pay attention to the type of player they brought in.
hmm And notice success doesn't happen without sacrifice.
There you go.
Gotta have sacrifice.
But
That's
look,
just
man,
like that's just like with the sack numbers. I would rather have 7 guys with 6 sacks than have the Cincinnati situation where you had one guy with 15 sacks, but your whole team in total had 32 sacks. Get the
do,
fuck out of here.
do you know how disrespectful that is? That's like watching your best pass rusher do all the work, and you sitting there talking about, man, he sure is doing a good job, man. Yeah, yeah. And then when he get put out of the game, everybody like, you mean tell me we got to play now?
Hmm.
I mean, let's be honest. That's what happened when Calais Campbell was here.
Yeah. Give me the 2023 Falcons situation where you
Yeah.
had 4 to 5 guys with 5.5 plus sacks.
And miraculously, we at the end of the season had about what 50, I believe, a little bit over
I think
50.
it was close to it. I think it was like 45 at that time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What the Falcons, what Terry learned, and see, this is what y'all don't understand. I'm gonna close with this. What Terry learned in his time going from the Saints to here, he saw that this team had a lot of potential, but this team also had undealt with bullshit. And so this year, I told y'all, this his draft. This ain't Raheem's draft. Raheem may have had a hand in saying, "Oh, I like that guy," but this Terry's draft. Because why? Terry basically went back after Blank cussed both of them out. It was like, how the hell we just lose the whole damn season? We was winning, hands down. We was winning. We was about to get a home playoff. How the hell we lose it? And you start going back looking at them games. Oh yeah, Terry ain't gonna tell Raheem to his face. He gonna go home. This nigga that lost his mind. He letting the team lose. Now they gonna look at me. Okay, I got it. I guarantee it won't happen this year. We get up 6-3. We up 6-3. Ain't gonna be no up 6-3, and then we back 8-6, 9-6.
Went from 6-3. Went from 6-3 to
So yo,
fucking
my
6-7 to
man,
six and
that's
seven in a blink of a damn eye.
Mm-hmm.
And you literally sat here and watched the reason why we went 6. We went from 6-3 to 6-7 and did nothing about it.
Not a
Yeah,
damn
motherfucker,
thing.
didn't do a damn thing about it.
Not a damn thing. And then had nerve to tell the public and your owner we're gonna be resilient. What, losers? You don't tell no 80-year-old man to be resilient.
You
He
beat the
about a
you beat the Giants and the Raiders
but
after going 6-3. Think
you
about
go
that for a second.
you gonna tell a 80-year-old billionaire to be resilient? Dude, he is way past resilient. He tired.
about to smack
Think
your
about
ass upside the head.
think about that. Think about it. We started off 6-3, and the next 2 games, and the only 2 games we won after that was the Raiders and the Giants.
Do you know? Do you know how constipated Blank had to be after that after that last game in the Benz? I didn't put all this money into this team, and you just let it walk out the door. And then I had a little midget at quarterback, got the nerve to do a Steph Curry impression in my house. Somebody get me some KO Peck tape.
Man, that man Shin would have been spiking like that goddamn, out in soccer where they be goddamn spiking the leg. Look, man, I would have been spiking the shit out of his little ass. That's just me.
So man, look, I know we probably gonna, we gonna continue this because listen, y'all ain't gonna listen. Y'all gonna go home, take a nap, go to sleep, wake up, eat your breakfast, and forget we said this. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, man. I know it's been a long week for everybody. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Mr. Tactician 78, 6Man K Live, and Mad Mike Sports. Also, Saturday, you probably not gonna see Coach because he got somebody that did a King of the Hill thing and knocked his internet out. So he'll be able to get back with you guys, but do tune in to the Regulators on Sunday. Kev, do you have a STS coming up this weekend?
Yeah, we can do the SCS this weekend. I just gotta come up with. I have to figure out a topic for it.
Okay.
I'm trying to. I kind of, like I said, I'm kind of torn between a couple talking points because because if y'all checked out the 6 man combo yesterday, that Jordan LeBron topic was actually an STS style conversation.
Mm.
So I just gotta come up. So I gotta come up with something else. Um, I'll let everybody know tomorrow what I got.
But yeah, listen, and I'm gonna be dropping some shorts with some more questions on some of the undrafted free agency players. Look, you never know who's gonna show up. Keep your eyes peeled on the training camps. Like I told you, the training camps are gonna tell you how the Falcons are going to start off their season. But Mike, you got anything you want to add before we get up out of here?
He a fan. He a fan. He a fan.
Say everybody, have you seen my balls? They big and salty and brown.
Balls.
Ball.
While everybody while everybody was laughing at that song, that motherfucker literally gave you the ingredients to the goddamn candy he was making at the beginning.
Yeah, he did. It went over our head and we let it happen.
Almost said, "Oh, Kathy Lee, how I love to lay it down and lick every inch of your body with my tongue." She said, "What?" I'm about to watch that episode too when I get off
Bruh, Chef ain't had no sense. Chef ain't had no sense. I've been watching Tex Avery. I've been laughing at Billy Boy for the last 6 hours. Hey, y'all,
Oh,
it's Billy. Daggone, Billy. So late you had to be going again. All right,
oh my
man.
God.
Look, I'm tired. I done had a long week. And hey, for everybody out there, man, make sure, if she's still here with you, make sure you love on your mom, your auntie, your grandma, you know what I'm saying, whomever, hey, but to everybody out there, if we don't talk to y'all, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look,
Definitely.
and give your mom something that she really, really enjoyed. Don't be out here being cheap, giving her tickets to watch Matlock or going to see some old corny show. Give her something that she really loves. Don't do it like that now. She had to change your nasty diapers. Heathens.
Hell, shit. Do what I do. Just give 'em money. That's just fine right there. Just give 'em money. That's the best way. That's the best give 'em all. Just give 'em money.
Yeah, well, sometimes my mom will look at it like, what is this? That let you know it ain't enough.
No, damn it, you better figure something out.
but
Better figure something out. Give 'em some money.
hey, man, we out of here, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys tune into the regulators. I'm gonna go get me some sleep before I fall out. All right, man, we out of here.
Yee.
All right, y'all.
Deuce.
Get some sleep, you
That
all.
man. Oh.
Boy.
Boy.